Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Once again, outstanding guest. We have a young man here, James Wright from the Informer newspaper. I've known him for quite a while. I mean, this young man, he knows what it's all about as far as the news business. And naturally, we have our correspondent, Edwanda, Larkin there. She and Wright, they're coming up with some important topic. Tell us, what are you talking about here?
Well, today I would like to say good evening, good afternoon to Mr. Ed Brown and Mr. Jim Wright. So glad to have James Wright here with us, and we've covered the Washington Bullets together, so glad to have him here. But I would like to say that I attended the commencement at Bowie State University, and our First Lady, Michelle Obama, was the keynote speaker there, and she was just awesome. And we gave her an honorary doctorate degree. So, Dr. Michelle Obama, we congratulate you from the Ed Brown TV show. Yes, they did.
And the bowling team won their championship. Yeah. Oh, boy, they really just stepping up.
Absolutely. Yes, they are. So we're going to invite Mr. Wright to introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about what he's been doing for the last, 20 years?
Yeah, and what's in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, it is a pleasure to be on the Ed Brown Show. It's a pleasure to see you again, and it's always a pleasure to see Edwanda. As you know,
old school.
I'm telling you, I've been covering Washington's doings for the last, as you said, 22 years, primarily with the Washington Afro-American newspaper. I have worked with the Post. I'm now with the Informer. Right now, what I do with the Informer is cover D.C. politics, D.C. City Hall.
Oh, D.C. politics.
Yes,
oh, wow.
Yes, so its tentacles are quite wide, yes.
Ooh, that's tough.
Oh, yes.
Right now, anyway.
Oh, yes, yes. With so much going on, or who's going to run for mayor, who's not going to run for mayor.
What about this affair that's coming up in June? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the United Black Fund is going to hold its annual, well, it's really a luncheon, and we're going to honor our former D.C. Mayor, Marion Barry, who is Councilman Barry now.
Right.
Wow.
And as you know, we're also going to have Dr. Gwendolyn Boyd, who is a past president of Delta Sigma Theta, who, by the way, will be in the district on July the 11th through the 17th to celebrate their 100th anniversary.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, I have some relatives coming from Texas who are going to attend
All
that.
the way from Texas?
Yes, and
Great.
we're expecting 50,000 women,
kidding.
to be there. So it's going to be a fun time during that time. And you have Louis Anthony, who will serve as the keynote speaker. I encourage people, to look into coming to that event at Howard University's Blackburn Center. Good event.
Okay, excellent. James and I, we were trying, and it's a scholarship luncheon.
Yes,
by the
yes,
way,
it is.
right?
Yes.
Prince George's County, they're in, I don't want to say turmoil, but hats are changing here in PG, Prince George's County, as far as the school system is concerned. What do you feel about what's going on? How do you feel
like
about what's going on?
1107.
Yeah, 1107, the referendum. Yeah.
That's the word, 1107.
Let me just say, I've covered politics here, as I said, for almost 2 decades. And for the first time in my career, I'm confused. What is going on?
Yeah.
What is this 1107? What is this business about the county executive taking over the schools? What role does the Prince George's Board of Education have in this? What role does the citizens have in this? What does the state of Maryland have to do with this? What am I saying is that there's just a lot of confusion, and as I talk to people in the county, they have no clear sense of what's going on. Now, they do know about 1107, and what I find is that if you approach somebody with a petition, they're going to sign it. But what people want, Ed Brown, is they want continuity, clarity about the process and what's going on. People are confused like me.
Yeah, but I think that 1107 gives our county exec, Rashawn Baker, the right to appoint 3 positions. Okay, he will be allowed to appoint the next superintendent. He would also be allowed to appoint the chair and the vice chair. So it only leaves the council one position to appoint. Is that it,
But I
Ed?
think the whole thing about 1107 is really to get the people involved in decision making. The things that has been presented have not been presented in a plan type of environment where you have input. The most important people here are the parents and the children.
Yes.
And really with 1107, they feel that this should go to referendum to the point that people need to be involved in it, not the body of the county council or the school board and the county exec. They're not the ones that are going to benefit or not benefit for the decision making. What I hear mostly is about the $1.7 billion. Who's going to control that? And I feel that what's happening here, you have 3 elected bodies, and this is elected bodies from the same people. The people elect the county exec, they elect the school board, and they elect the council. But the people that going to suffer are the children. I don't hear anything about a plan. They're talking about maybe getting different people in here, but educators should be involved. I heard that maybe the president of community college might head that. Now that's just a rumor, you know.
Dr.
But
Charlene
Dukes, you know, that's just a rumor. But I think that something like this is so very important for the future, and parents have to just like James said, right? Most of the people are confused.
Yeah.
You know, see that's the thing. And if it was done the other way, letting the people put input, and then coming up with the proposal that the county exec and the school board, then they would have input to make the decision for the people.
Right.
But they really haven't had any input from the people.
Right. And Prince George's County has got to get away from following what other jurisdictions do. And this is what we tend to do here in Prince George's County. If it happens in Montgomery County, well, we'll try that. If it happens in D.C., well, we'll try that. They don't always work. So, and it may not work for Prince George's County. So we just need to do what you just said. Let the people decide.
Make the decision. See, that's the thing, that the input, you know, the people that as far as 1107 is concerned, it has no educational input at all. People that decided on 1107 are not educators, and they have not presented a plan so that the people will have an opportunity to look at it. You know, there's no plan out there. It's just control.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's what I look at, and just like James was saying, that people are really confused with the 3 elected bodies there making a decision. So very important. I think the parents should have more input from the parents and the students. And with the students on the school board, they should really listen to them. That's the idea.
That is the idea.
You know, but I haven't heard anything from the young people that are on the school board what they feel that the plan should be about.
And you know, and you have Edward Burrows, who is he's not the student representative, but he's a very young representative. And sometimes those Board of Education meetings get contentious, and they outvote him on things. But he is really solid in terms of representing the students, but still the students themselves. You know, in the high schools should have a voice in this.
Hey, what about, we got another big thing coming up. People are a little quiet about it. What about the governor of Maryland? What do you think about Mr. Brown?
Well, your namesake. I believe that Lieutenant Governor, as you know, Anthony Brown has announced that he is running for governor. By the way, right now he is the only standing African-American candidate for governor of a state right now here in the United States. And yes, if he were to be elected, he would be the first African American governor elected of Maryland, but also
Maryland,
but he will be the first lieutenant governor to actually become governor.
Yes.
So we have to see. It's journalistically, this is exciting because these type of races are very exciting to see what's going to happen.
Well, he served as our lieutenant governor for what, 8 years already. So.
Yes, and military. He has a fine resume in the military. Went to Harvard Law School. Served 8 years as a delegate, and as you just mentioned, an understudy as lieutenant governor to Governor O'Malley. Good credentials, but we still have some pockets in Maryland that are not really ready for change, and I only say pockets. We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, because really the first African American governor was Doug Weiler from Virginia.
Virginia.
And other than that, there's no one has been elected to that position. And I was just wondering, Brown is supposed to be a party man, but some of the senators and delegates are backing off, But usually when a party man is brought up, you know what I mean? They especially after you work with him 8 years.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Then you know what type of character he has, what type of person he is. That's the thing that's alarming to me, is that the delegation, senators and the delegates are not. Now this Brown has been selected by the party, the Democratic Party of the state of Maryland. And I would think that due to the fact that he's from Prince George's County, one of the important jurisdictions, the major jurisdiction in the governor's race is Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and Baltimore. If in fact you're going to run, you get those three jurisdictions, you got a pretty good shot. Because that's where most of the electoral college votes and everything in those. So what do you think about that?
Well, see, here's the problem with Anthony Brown. The problem with Anthony Brown is a man named Doug Gansler. Doug Gansler is the Attorney General, and he's from Montgomery County. And it seems like in Maryland we now have this sort of like ring rosy sort of thing going on. Well, if Prince George's had their turn, now it's Montgomery County's turn. Now it's Baltimore City's turn. Never mind the fact that Baltimore City had a number of mayors throughout the history of Maryland, more than its fair share, but we don't talk about that. So the thing, and also Doug Gansler has a lot of money. He has more money than the lieutenant governor. So we have to work through that. Let me just say this in terms of Lieutenant Governor Brown. He should not run, and I don't think he's this type of person, he should not run a race-based campaign. He should run on his qualifications. And he should also try to emphasize publicly going out to places like the Eastern Shore and Western Maryland, but remember that his base is here. And
Prince
turn out to vote
County.
here. And that's what he should do.
I think that's an excellent idea because of the fact and really his problem is getting known by the average person. So you got to have that exposure. You can have money, because a good example of having money was our presidential having money. Money is not just it. If people start and look at the individual and what they really represent, and the people in the United States knew what Romney represented. And this is what happens. And I think those are the things. And get the facts and volunteer. We got to get more people involved in grassroots of any campaign. You know what I mean? Anyone that you, and I think Prince George's, we have a #1 man there. And Brown, he has, like you say, he's had qualifications. He has the academics. He has the experience. Those are things that are important. He didn't just come out of the woodworks. Representing a group. He represents the state of Maryland.
Right,
Yes.
and he would be an excellent representative in general for the state of
Okay.
Maryland.
All right, then. We're going to have to wrap this up here. Edwanda, give us something. What you going to do next?
We're going to have a professional boxer on. I
Oh,
think,
yeah?
next, here from Prince George's County.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have him on next. So
Okay.
we need people to stay tuned in.
Okay, it's great having James Wright here from The Informer. He gave you some very, very important points. And don't forget, you got to volunteer. You can't sit at home. Okay, see you next time. Be back in a second. Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And we have, we talked about math, we talked about education, and we have Dr. Mary Johnson back again. And she has Mr. Curtis Broadway. And once again, everybody needs math. I don't care where you are, who you are, you need math. And really, it's just outstanding work that Dr. Johnson has done. Hey, this is your second show. You know, we're going to have 4 more shows. So, in Ed Brown shows the coming 4 weeks, all the month of, part of the month of May and June. And we want emphasis on math. I mean, this subject here is for everybody, 8 to 80.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Ed Brown Show.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. You're so right. It's just so refreshing to hear someone speak so positively about teaching math.
Right.
And I'm very happy to be here. And I'm happy that Curtis Broadway is with me. Curtis is working with me on a special project. We're on a team together. We've been working for a year.
Is that
a
right?
whole
What's the
year.
name of the team? Oh, you don't have a name.
We have a team name, but right now we don't want to talk about it right
won't
now.
talk
But
about
it's
the
a
name.
team.
We'll surprise
Yes, we're going to surprise everybody. Wait till we finish everything.
Right.
But Curtis is very familiar with my approach to teaching math. He has sat with me and listened to me, observed me tutor,
Amazing.
everything for a whole year as we worked on this project. So I'm very pleased that Curtis could be here today. He loves math. He's concerned about mathematics education, as I am in the country. We're concerned about math in the country and how it's being taught. And we want to make a contribution to help students learn it because they can learn it. They just need a chance to be taught a certain way.
The technique is the key.
Yes, it is.
You know, anytime you can make anybody, I don't care what it is, learn something that they hate, boy, you got some technique.
That's right. That's right.
You
And
know
that's
what I
what we do in Success in Learning Math, and that's what we do. We are like the catalyst for the students. We help them realize their potential and help them gain confidence. You know, the formula that I presented, part of the formula last week was add confidence, subtract fear. And those are key points that we work hard on to make sure the students do that. And once they add confidence, they soar. F students, this is not fantasy, F students turn into A students in math, not only in math, but it affects all of their subjects. When they learn math, they learn that they have ability and they get confidence that they can learn math. And they're willing to study it and learn it. And they're excited about it,
Yeah,
believe it or not.
well, that's what I mean. Your technique that you actually use, you know, there's a desire to
Yes.
learn. Whereas before, let's see, I'll do that math next week sometime.
Yes,
you know.
yes,
That's
yes.
tough. I don't want to do that.
Yes.
And not only that, you think of academics, you think in terms of your everyday living.
That's right.
Every day.
Deals with math.
Yes.
I don't care what it is.
Where you are.
That's right.
You know, and this is what we're trying to do, make parents understand, you know what I mean, how important projects like you have going here is. Okay, Curtis, tell us a little bit, you know, I mean, how did you get into mathematics, man?
Well, let me say it was It was a gift. The math was a gift. I came from a pretty rough neighborhood. My math is what my
So
friends,
you had to watch your back.
Oh, absolutely. So I had to become the accountant of the neighborhood, right?
Right.
You know, I had to be around the crap games and make sure the money was getting counted right, and all those kind of things. But my mother was pretty naive about, you know, what was going on in the world as far as IT, and she kept mentioning to me math and computer science, math and computer science. That's all my household would do. So when I finally went to college, I majored math and computer science by accident. I actually went and declared 2 majors and had no idea I was doing it. But when I graduated,
You didn't know what you was getting into.
I had no idea. As a matter of fact, I was wondering why I wasn't done in 4 years. I thought I was a pretty smart guy. And I was wondering why all the other math guys was getting out in 4 years, and it was taking me 5.5. What was going on? What I discovered was I came out with a math degree and a computer science degree.
What school?
Coppin State.
Coppin State.
Yes,
Great.
my math instructor
School,
was Freeman
great.
Robosky, who's now the president of UMBC, who taught me everything. And then I met this young lady, and my
Well, tell me this. What about male and female? Do you find there's a problem there? The males generally turn away from math, isn't it?
Well, I'm finding out in certain communities it's a phobia, just a phobia that's common, whether it's male or female. Females are more attentive to it and will go through the struggle, but the gentlemen, they just as afraid of the math as the ladies are.
I would say they would be more, you know, they have a tendency to be more afraid of the
Well,
system.
it became a challenge for me, so we don't like to be beat up on, you know, so when you got that man thing going on, you say, hey, it can't beat me, so that's where I was.
Quickly tell us some of the things you feel make it easier for an individual, I won't say a child, individual, to get into math as far as budget items are concerned.
As Dr. Johnson said, having someone to let you know you have the confidence to do math. Math is not hard. Math is necessary. Math is in your everyday living. Math is what you have to have, and it opens doors to other things. When I was growing up, he asked me what I wanted to be. I said a police officer. The more I got into math, I wanted to be an engineer. Not the one to drive the train, the one to build the train. So those kind of things I had to learn in coming up, because they're not in the, you know, most of our parents are pretty naive to the IT world out there that math opens up. So in reality, in doing my math, I went and pursued a computer science degree because I had time to do it while I was working. The computer science became easy because of the math.
And this project that you and Dr. Johnson was working on, how did you find her?
She found me.
Yes, I found
She
him.
was heaven
I
sent
was
for sure.
searching. I was like,
She
what
was
am I going to
searching.
do? How am I going to do this project?
She was searching for someone who understood her math background, which is phenomenal, who can take and put it in IT. And I have both backgrounds, and she just fascinates me. She's still teaching me math.
Right,
I learned how to divide from nine, and I have a math degree.
And you love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this up with this book. Tell us more about the contents of your book there.
Okay, we'll start with the third step in my book, and a formula for success in learning math. And the third
what is
component
the formula? I see a formula right there.
No, we're going to look
on
at that
page.
we're going to look at this later, because at the very end, and I'm going to put it on so we can display it.
Okay.
But
okay.
because
Good.
yes,
Make sure.
yes,
right.
I want to do that.
Yeah, I see that formula being
Yes, you
chemist,
do.
you know,
Yes.
right away, you know.
and my editor, who really enjoyed she said she enjoyed working on my book. Was very fascinated with this formula. I had it on the cover of one of my tapes, and one of my students saw it, and she said, "Oh, I'm afraid of that already. How can this be a formula for success in learning math?"
Right.
Anyway, but my students, I introduced it to my college students and all that, my first session with them, so they get the flavor of it. And the first component is add confidence. And we need people in our lives to help us add confidence.
Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna let you at the next show illustrate some of those formulas that you have, so we can actually see, you know, what it's all about. And then, as we near the end of the shows that are coming up in mathematics, we're going to talk about some of the students and bring a couple of students in and give
Yes.
us something about, you know, how they got interested in things like that.
Yes,
Okay?
I already
Yeah.
have students lined up.
Yeah, lined up.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
Once again, it's great to have you here, Mr. Broadwater and Dr. Johnson. And this is so very important. That's why I have dedicated about 4 or 5 shows for mathematics, because, hey, everybody needs it. And what you want to do, you better look at the Ed Brown Show, and you get more about this dynamic book and project. What they're going to do at the end, they're going to tell us the name of the project so that you can get involved. Okay, see you next time.